There is a lot of hype behind the book Babel by R.F. Kuang. So, the question is the hype for real? I don't know, is it? Babel takes place in the 1800s, and it follows the story of these students who come from all over the world. They come to Oxford University and they go to this Tower of Babel, which is a language translation center where their focus is on translation. They also focus on silverwork, and silverwork is this whole system that basically runs the country of England. Like, it makes sure that carriages have smooth rides and that the naval ships are faster, better, more powerful. It just enhances everything. And then there's cosmetic enhancements too that silverwork provides, like brighter colors of flowers and stuff. A feeling of serenity when you walk into a garden. So they have this whole system of silverwork, and it brings to England and the crown. It just makes it a very wealthy nation, and they produce so much of it. But in order to use it and to harness the powers, they need the power of translation and language. And that lies within and comes from the students of the center. So you'll have a silver bar. And on one side of that, you have one word, and the other, you have a corresponding match pair of a different language. And that's what makes it work and have this almost magical effect. These people have a very firm grip on their silverwork, and they don't want to share it with anyone else. So that's the system that is behind the tower. And they also just, they translate so many different works, and they keep this big, powerful vault of knowledge within this tower. It follows the story of these students that come, and the main character's name is Robin, although that's not his original name. He is originally from China, and they don't even say what his original name was, but they make him choose a name that is easier for white people to pronounce. So, he changes his name to Robin Swift. What happens to him is he is in Canton over in China. His town has been struck by cholera. His whole family has died, and then this professor comes and finds him and heals him. And he takes him and whisks him off to Oxford so that he can go and learn and study in the Tower of Babel. Because this child had the gift of knowing several different languages and had been learning since he grew up, and that would be very valuable to the center of Babel. So it follows him and his journey and going to the college and the friends that he makes there and the opportunities that they're provided. Well, if something seems too good to be true, it just might be. They have a wealth of knowledge at their fingertips. You don't learn silverwork till your 4th year, and the first 3 years are spent focusing on everything to get ready to take your big tests to see if they'll even let you learn how to do silverwork, because it is the pulse, the heart of all that is Babel. These students, they're contributing to this source of knowledge and pouring their resources all into the crown and England, and England doesn't really give anything back. So these students, they're set up, they have stipends, they don't have to worry about money, they get their meals provided, and they have this fantastic education. However, they're still treated as second-class citizens, and also women are treated as second-class citizens. And the rampant racism that the people around them, the way they look at them and treat them like they're not important or just worthless, even with them having the status at Oxford. So they all have all these benefits of going there. But the problem is nothing goes back to their nations. Nothing goes back to help others that are impoverished. So, the students, sometimes they're like, why don't we give back to this or that? And they're basically laughed at, or whoever scoffs at them. There is this other society, the Hermes Society, which basically kind of coins himself like Robin Hood, steal from the rich, give to the poor. But what they're trying to do is give back to the nations that England and these white men are just basically stealing all their resources from them and not giving back. And what they do with the silverwork is, they're selling it to rich people who want brighter flowers in their garden or want their dog to bark less. That one I just made up. But stuff that is just cosmetic and not helping, when they could be giving back and they could be helping heal the sick and doing all these amazing things, but they don't want to, and they're not going to because they're selfish and they're racist and they're misogynistic. And so these students it's a crisis of conscience of like, okay, I have this great education, everything's taken care of, everything's paid for, I can have this lifelong career and be set up, but do I forget my countrymen? Do I not give an F? And the Hermes societies, and that's where they come into play. And then they take back and try to give to these nations back what's being taken from them. The way this is written and the way the story goes is just so good. It amplifies the horribleness of the way that people were treated and how this stuff still happens today. And if you don't think it does, you need to open your eyes. Open them. And so I think a lot too with the tower being called Babel, there's a lot of symbolism that goes into that with the biblical story of the Tower of Babel and how all the languages that were spread across the world and people's languages were confused when the tower fell because they were trying to build up this tower to God and God didn't like that. And so there's a lot of symbolism in this too, where it seems like these smug white a-holes who think they're better than everyone are trying to play God and trying to just keep everything for themselves and not share it and just be these evil, self-serving crap bags. And so the whole thing is like, what are the students going to do? Are they going to join the Hermes Society? Who does? Who doesn't? And this was so beautifully written with what happens. So then everything kind of comes to a head too, because the buttholes behind the scenes, they want to start a war with other countries so they can take their silver because they are starting to run a bit low on silver, and it's all about them wanting to just conquer everything and take it for themselves and not share and give back and help and realize that we're all humans just trying to share one planet and exist, and that existence is important. But it's common, and then having the students who decide to come together and fight back behind the scenes and do something about it and try to give back, and what happens and how it all goes down. Will the Tower of Babel continue what it's doing, or will it be brought to a halt? What happens with the story of these students, of Robin and Raimi and Letty and Victory? And on top of all this, it's also a story of friendship and heartbreak and trust and lies and not understanding each other. It's such a brilliant book. Babel blew my socks off. They flew across the freaking room. If you want to read a dark academia masterpiece of a book, Babel by R.F. Kuang. I give 5 stars. The characters have such heart and soul. The world that they inhabit is very visual, very academic, and very just, you get a real good glimpse into it. If you are interested in this book, I will have a link down below. That is an affiliate link. A little bit goes to the channel and then also goes to support indie bookstores. If you had fun hanging out today, boop that like button, come back, see me again, and we'll talk about more bookish things and weird stuff.